Now you're looking for trouble condition.
Hello and welcome to another episode of American Werewolves, where we talk all things horror. I am your co-host Brandon.
I am Jerry.
And today we're going to be talking about the latest release from A24, and that is Heretic, starring Hugh Grant, Chloe East, and Sophie Tratter. I feel so bad I butchered that last name. She's gonna unsubscribe forever now. That's it. It's over. It's over. All right.
I'm never gonna listen to another episode.
She's done with it.
It's Thatcher, right?
Thatcher. There it is. But yes, latest from A24. We also have special guest Gizmo here, ready to discuss the film with us. He looks like he's got a new haircut. He's shy. That's why he's only showing half his face.
Yeah, he had fleas, so had to shave him down.
You. Anyway. Oh, well, hopefully he's doing a lot better now.
No, he's good.
But what was it? I saw this movie just last night, and I've only saw the first trailer. I didn't see.
But you watched it last night? You didn't watch it when you texted me?
No. A lot of things came up, so I wasn't able to watch it. So, ended up watching it last night on a Sunday, and I got a theater experience to explain. You know,
you typically
if you thought the Watcher's experience was bad, this was worse. I officially became an old man at 31. There were, not kidding, there was one group. I'm all the way in the back, and there's one group, a row in front of me to the left, a bunch of girls. There's three people, teenagers, all the way down to my right. I'm in the back middle, and then you got these three friends also like in front of me. Right when the movie started, the four girls in front of me on the left were just taking selfies together, flash on and everything. Off bat, I was like, "Oh no!" And then eventually they took three, and then that was it. And I was like, "Okay, I think they're done." But they were still kind of murmuring here back and forth, and then the teenagers next to me, girl was talking full volume, like looking on her phone, flash on, bright as hell, everything. It swings across my face every so often. And I just hear her talk to her friend, "Oh, did you get the photo I sent?" Oh, no. And then there's like this guy and these two girls in front of me. And these two girls, I'm not kidding, all three of these groups, they had people literally getting up, walking out of the movie, coming back into the movie, walking out again, coming back, not together. It was all separate. Like, it was, I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Was this the AMC?
No, this was the Regal on Pines and Dykes, Westport 13.
Was that also where you saw Watchers?
No, I saw that at the AMC.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, movie theaters just suck now on the weekends. I miss, like, Alamo, where, like, if you talked once or if you were on your phone, you were banned. They would literally, like, not let you back in. But, yeah, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't think it's too much to ask, like, a movie I paid for, like, I want to sit and watch and hear the movie, and I can't do that when I have three groups of people fucking murmuring and stuff like that and laughing. At one point, the girls in front of me were laughing. One was laughing so hard, and it was going on for, like, 5 minutes, and I just literally had to shush them. I yelled so loud, like, shh, and then they were like, "Oh, fuck." She left, like, 2 minutes later. She didn't come back.
That's like, I don't know. It's just like common fucking sense.
It is,
dude.
But people treat it like their living room.
I remember.
Then homegirl is talking again on the top of her lungs and like just full volume. And I look at her, I'm like, "Yo, really?" And she just stopped. And her boyfriend looked at me. I'm like, "Come on!" And then they got up and they left. Her friend stayed though. It was insane. But anyway, you were saying.
I don't remember what show I saw, but I went to New York. And I was watching something on Broadway. And this dude just kept fucking talking the whole time. And the woman, he was right in front of us, and the woman sitting next to me just like tapped him on the shoulder and was like, "Hey, I didn't pay $100 and something for these seats to listen to you talk the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, people are paying money to experience something.
Yeah. And then
So
they treat
are
it like,
you.
yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And they treat it like they're just in their living room or it's no big deal. And it's like,
Yeah.
people, like, tickets are expensive now, no matter what event you're trying to go to. It's like, come on, we're trying to get our money's worth. We're not trying to hear you fucking talk shit.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do that, just put something on Netflix. Like, that's why I'm like, I don't want to go to a horror movie on the weekends now, unless it's like a specific theater that I know is not going to be like full of like kids all the time, or if it's on a weekday. I feel like that's the best way to watch it now because it's like everyone's busy at school or whatever the hell and doing whatever, working. So yeah, I honestly I don't want movie theaters to die, but I completely understand why they're dying. It's because assholes like those people that keep fucking ruining it for everyone else.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. To all those people, if you're listening to this, fuck you. Back to the movie.
Yeah.
I told you I've turned to an angry old man. I can't deal with it. But we are going to get into the actual review, which is Heretic. It is from Scott Beck and Brian Woods. They are the same creative team that they wrote and directed Haunt. They wrote A Quiet Place. I don't remember if they wrote A Quiet Place 2. They wrote and directed that Adam Driver dinosaur film. I completely forgot what it is. It was like 42?
Something like that.
47? I don't know. Yeah, 47. Either way, I haven't checked it out. But regardless of that, anything related in the horror genre, I've actually really enjoyed from them quite a bit. They've done a lot of really cool stuff. They they didn't do A Quiet Place too. Oh yeah, and they also did do The Boogeyman, which I wasn't crazy about, but it was still entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But we got Heretic here, which is about two young religious women who are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. That strange man being played by Hugh Grant. And these two girls, they're Barnes and Paxton. They are just going around door to door trying to come, get people to come to their church and stuff like that. And then they go to Hugh Grant's character's house and it starts to rain and pour. And then, things are already weird off bat where, they say like, we can't be inside your house unless there's a presence of a woman in there. And he's like, oh, my wife's home. She's making pie. They go in. If you saw the trailer, you already know where it goes from there. They are just sitting talking with Hugh Grant. The conversations are getting more and more uncomfortable. And then when he goes away to the other room, the girls notice that the candle is blueberry pie right behind Jerry. And the pie story is complete bullshit. And they are trying to get out, but they notice the door is locked. And Hugh Grant wants to play a game based on their beliefs and their faith in their religion. And from there, we get a pretty tense, very unique thriller that it went a lot. I will not lie, it wasn't what I was expecting when I saw that first trailer. I don't know if trailer 2 or 3 broke it down to make it clear what it is, but I was expecting something else and something more, I guess, horror, and not saying it's not horror, but it's definitely more of a religious thriller.
I was expecting something a little more like Saw vibe.
Oh, really?
Not necessarily Saw, but like I thought, because like he says like something about like a game or a test or something in the trailer, and I was expecting them to go through like kind of like trials to escape or something like that. Like I was expecting something like that, and that's not what it was.
Yeah. It is not a spoiler if anyone's wondering.
No.
It's in the trailer. They're forced to go down 2 doors that lead to a basement. One that is based on belief, and the other that is based on disbelief. We won't tell you which one they choose because that's kind of part of the fun of the conversation they have in this movie. And they go down, and it is kind of what Jerry was saying about like kind of being a trial, but it's not what you expect. But it is very disturbing, and it just only grows more and more tense and disturbing by the time the film even wraps up at the very end. Now, to get to that point, it takes a while. This movie is very dialogue heavy, which is important to listen to. People that were in the theater at Regal at 7:30 at night. um, so there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of them going back and forth, where Hugh Grant is constantly challenging their beliefs and their religion. He starts comparing religion in general to like board games, including Monopoly and all these other ones, and he's and even like even music, how like I don't want to get into it too much because it is the fun of the conversation. But he has he goes on saying about music, like he compares it to religion, how like some song will borrow from another song from the past, and that's like part of his many arguments he has in this movie. Um, and then the girls are constantly, or at least Sophie's character, Sister Barnes, she is constantly arguing back and also making some very valid points herself. And that's kind of where like the tension in the movie starts. It's more just dialogue based than anything. There's nothing really happening, but and it has to go back to their good performances, especially Hugh Grant, which this is definitely one of my favorite roles he's done. Yeah. I think maybe ever. I haven't seen him in too much. I grew up watching him stuff on TV and stuff like that, but he hasn't done anything that stood out to me except for like one show on HBO, Unforgiven. This one, he really stepped it up. He really changed his style. He's not being typecast as like the charming British guy. No, he's a charming British guy that you just want to get away from. And he's really good here. Everyone is good here, honestly. So I'm gonna have to look up her name because I feel so bad. Sophie
Thatcher.
Chloe East. I know Chloe East. I'll have to get to her because honestly, the two girls are really good, but Chloe East was by far my favorite in this film. She was really good. She has like a lot of standout moments, and she also made me laugh quite a bit too, just because of how uncomfortable she is. So the things she's saying is like, it's like, come on, you know what situation you're in, but you should stop being so polite. And that was really fun to watch. And also, I don't want to say it here, but there's a cameo in this movie, which it took me a minute to realize who it was. The moment I saw him like talking full on, I was like, "Oh my god, that's that!" Which I thought was fun. I thought it was really cool. Shout out! I'll just say this person has made cameos in like other A24 movies, and I just think that's his thing now with this company. I don't know what it is, but it was fun. And yeah, aside from that, like those are like the four main performances that we see throughout this movie. Now, I will say this. I think this movie is really good. It is really fun. But I won't lie, I was kind of bored half the time. And I kept asking myself, like, is it because I'm being distracted and annoyed or whatever? But even when that settled down, I'm like locking in on the movie and watching it, hearing it. And I won't lie, it was very, very slow. And I was wondering when it was going to get to the point because it just felt like it was building up a lot. And, it's good because you're learning about these characters here and there. But I felt like there was just like not a lot happening. At certain points, and it started to slow down where it started to think maybe the movie could have been like 10 minutes shorter or something like that. I don't think it needed to be almost 2 hours.
Yeah. I agree. I did really like the film. I thought it was really good. But there are moments where it is slow. And you kind of are just waiting for like the next bit. Because it is extremely dialogue heavy. It's not the thriller like Don't Breathe or it's another fucking locked room thriller.
Greener,
yeah, it's nothing like that. Room. It is a thriller, but it's very, very based in the dialogue. It doesn't really get like super thrillery until like what you're used to until like the end.
Yeah.
That being said, it is still a very good movie. I did very
Yeah.
much enjoy it. I really liked this movie. Hit differently, in a sense that I don't want to get really too into it here, because I would then have to go into politics and current events and stuff like that, which I have no problem doing, but American Werewolves is not the platform to do that.
We're a horror show, not a
Yeah.
politics show.
However, the one of the things that I loved so much about Midnight Mass, by Mike Flanagan,
Yeah.
was the scene where all the Christians are sitting in the classroom, and the cop, who is a Muslim, are talking about religion, and the cop is trying to explain to them that, hey, our religions aren't very different. There's a couple differences here and there, but they're all at the end of the day, it's kind of the same. They share a lot more similarities than they do differences.
Yeah.
And that scene where Hugh Grant is breaking things down about religion and these different religions is him basically saying the same thing. And I really fucking love that scene.
Yeah. No, that's another show. That was actually a show that came up quite a bit when I was watching it with the dialogue, because it kind of reminded me of that. They're both very dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
They both have they make really valid points in their views on religion and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with this movie. Like, this movie really does make you think, and I've already seen some people kind of complain that the movie doesn't pick a side for you to necessarily be on. It kind of leaves it more open to the audience. And I don't see that as a problem at all, because I don't think the movie really needed to have a definitive answer by the end. I mean, there are moments where you're like, okay, I get it, but it's just another thing with the dialogue. I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but they really do make valid points throughout, where you can have hope, and then that hope is gone, and you can not have hope, and then suddenly hope arrives, and it's. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to get too into it because it will get political, but it was just a very refreshing take.
Yeah.
To hear the dialogue just going back and forth between these characters and seeing where they go. But overall, I think this movie is a very strong one. I think it is definitely one of A24's better horror movies. It is not their best. There's still a few more I like more. I will definitely rewatch this when it comes to streaming, for sure. Maybe I can take it in more and see if I have something different. But overall, I do think this is worth watching. It's just not. It's like what Jerry said. It's not like a Don't Breathe or a Green Room or Panic Room. It's not that type of thriller where it's nonstop thrills throughout. There's just a lot of uncomfortable tension throughout, and it only winds more and more as it continues on, especially to that third act. And then even the ending. The ending, I did enjoy it. I can see how a lot of people wouldn't like it, though. There's. I don't want to say something because it happens at the very end, so we're gonna go into spoilers in a bit anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, I really enjoyed this movie, and I think it's worth watching. I don't know how you feel towards it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's
Awesome.
worth a watch. I really enjoyed it. It's not a perfect film because like we said, it is slow at moments, and I did find myself getting bored at moments, but majority of the time was not that. That was not the case majority of the time.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, go check it out. I think it's definitely worth watching. Check it out on a matinee, if anything. maybe I don't know if you want to take friends with, but I mean it could be fun. We'll see. But now we're gonna get into
It's not one of those horror films where like you need a
yeah,
crowd to experience it.
yeah. You really don't. There are moments there that are crowd pleasing, but I don't think it's like it's not what you expect.
Yeah.
It's just very different. This is more of a character driven horror piece than anything else.
Yeah.
But go check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. It's different from a lot of horror movies that have come out this year. It's very unique. So let's get into spoilers. I want to talk about, I guess, oh, hold on a second. Dexter wants to get out. Come on, Dexter. You can go. Ugh. Dog is so needy. So yeah, the ending. Is that Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No, I don't know what that was. It was somebody's Instagram story. It was just like music that played really quick.
I thought it was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No, I have to watch it though. I have not seen it.
Oh shit. Let's say. Oh yeah. So I want to talk about the basement that they end up choosing. You know, they eventually go back and forth a lot between if they want to choose belief or disbelief. They nearly go through disbelief. Like Sister Paxton really wants to go there, but Sister Barnes is like, no, we're gonna go here through belief because we're not gonna change our views just because that's what he wants us to do. Like we're stuck here no matter what. So they go down there, and it's this nasty ass basement. And I thought this is where trial one was gonna begin. I thought like, oh, they got like a couple rooms to go through.
That's
this is
what I
just
thought
one.
this movie was going to be.
And it's not. It's just a disheveled woman in a robe who is eating blueberry pie that has poison in it, and she dies. And Hugh Grant is claiming like, oh, she'll be alive again. You're going to see a resurrection. You're going to see a miracle. And she dies, and then a bunch of stuff happens, and they run up the stairs trying to get out the window, and then all of a sudden they see that the lady is alive, and he is saying like, see, resurrection, blah blah blah. And then when Sister Paxton starts to piece together like there's a trap door underneath, there's a like you switch them out, they're not the same body and stuff like that. That's where I was like, okay, there's no other trial, is there?
Yeah.
And then she goes down to the basement. I'm like, oh, okay, this is the next one. No, we're about to wrap up the movie right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a little contrived. but I was like, all right, whatever. I'll fucking buy it. I just was like, how would you not hear that? That shit is loud.
Yeah, it's not like they were very far.
Yeah. I get it's a lot. There's a lot of high tension going on, so maybe they weren't focusing. They were just so fucking into trying to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought that was interesting. But again, I was like, I'll just suspend my disbelief a little bit, I guess. I don't know. It was still fun, and I still liked, her scenes trying to figure it out and lead up to it. I thought that was all part of the fun of it. And also, I didn't expect Sister Barnes to like get killed off like that so damn quick.
I kind of expected it.
Really?
From the beginning monologue, or not monologue, but the beginning conversation, there's a shot of Sister Barnes, like, I think Sister Paxton says something like, oh, isn't it great that we like have a god or something like that does this or whatever. And Sister Barnes, like, you can see her face kind of like she's not really buying into all of this. And
Right.
Throughout the conversation, when they get to Hugh Grant's house, Mr. Reed's house, they're just like things that just her facial expressions where you can tell that she's not sold on this religion and she doesn't really believe it. And later we find out that she does have an IUD. Was it an IUD or
Or it was like it was an IUD. It was like a contraception of some sort. Yeah. But yeah, not IUD.
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant. But yeah, she has that. which goes against the religion. And so we know Sister Barnes from that beginning monologue, or that beginning conversation. I knew, one, that there needed to be a final girl, and Sister Barnes seemed pretty confident in who she was, and Sister Paxton was too sold on this religion and needed to make a change. I knew this wasn't going to be a movie where at the end Sister Barnes was like, there is a God, and that she was going to change her view on this religion. I knew it had to be a movie where Sister Paxton, at the end, Sister Paxton was too, like, upbeat and happy. It needed to be a movie where she changed, and that kind of told me that Sister Barnes was going to die at the end. Or midway through.
I guess. I guess, yeah, I never picked up on it. Maybe on a rewatch, I'll probably notice it a little more. I'm like, I could see it just with how her character is and stuff like that. But it is something that still shocked me, and I felt like it is definitely needed for the story for Sister Paxton to get that push she needed, and you can tell she was shitting herself as she was left alone with this psycho. But she holds her own pretty good. She learns quick, and she knows she's gonna get out of there. Like, she believes she's gonna get out of there. And you find out later that Hugh Grant has these women held captive in a part of his house, and they're basically his prophets, and that they're there by choice and stuff like that. And it got me thinking, what does this fool do for a job?
I was telling Emma, I was like, how often does he do this?
Yeah, I'm like, hold on. Does he just live up here and he just grabs people every so often and he gets lucky if he gets one?
Why has there not been like a news report that's like, hey, these people from these different churches keep going missing?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But it was like one of those things where it's like It's Always Sunny, where they're just like, move past it.
Yeah.
Just like focus on what the craziness going on right now. But it just showed how, like, he just became so much scarier at that point, where it's like he's been kind of doing this for a while. He kind of pulling off. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the dude from Tusk, the old man. How he's just kidnapping people and turning them into walruses for his own entertainment. But yeah, he though not as ridiculous, or it may be, however you view it, it still just showed how creepy Hugh Grant was. It just made him so much more unsettling, and it just showed just like how convincing he is and stuff like that. In general, that he can like do this for so long. So that definitely got unnerving. But then, of course, he says the key word, magic underwear, and he gets stabbed in the neck by her. And when she has like that, what was it, like sewing needle or something like that?
I don't know.
She
It
had, like, a
wasn't a
knife?
sewing. It looked like,
No,
I think it
it
was
was
a
like
letter
sewing.
opener.
Letter opener, that was it, yeah. Yeah, sewing needle. But yeah, and then like, she stabs him in the neck, then he stabs her in the gut, which, by the way, why did she run back down to the basement when she was already upstairs? That part kind of confused me. Remember,
Wait,
like,
what?
she stabs him in the neck.
Yeah.
She runs away. She runs upstairs to like the main floor, and then she goes back down to the basement where she gets stabbed in the gut. Why did she do that?
I think she was because the doors were locked, like in that main room. I think she was looking for another way out. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get she's scared and stuff like that, but I was just like, I just thought it was weird. Like, she was already upstairs. Why the hell did you stay upstairs? If anything, I would have barricaded downstairs.
Yeah.
And found a way. Which she did with one door. I don't know why she didn't do it with the other. But either way, she's about to full on die after getting stabbed in the gut. You think they're both about to die out there, honestly. But then Sister Barnes rises from the dead, kills Hugh Grant's character, Mr. Reed, and ends up fully on just like succumbing to her wounds and dying right there, allowing Sister Paxton to get out. And when she gets out, there's a final shot where she sees a butterfly on her hand, and then all of a sudden it's not there, and it pretty much ends right there, and then it forces you to ask, like, is she all right, or does she lose touch with reality and stuff like that? And it kind of ends on that, but no. At least that's what I got from that ending. I don't know if you got a different idea from it.
That's a question that I wasn't that I still haven't figured out for myself yet, because in the movie she says that if she gets reincarnated, she would like to come back as a butterfly to land on that person's fingertips, so that
Sister
way
Barnes said that, or Sister Paxton
Paxton,
said that? Okay.
so that way they would know it's her.
Mm.
I don't think Sister Barnes is being reincarnated as a butterfly, because it shows the butterfly, then it cuts to Paxton, and then it cuts back, and the butterfly isn't there.
Yeah.
So the butterfly, I don't think, was ever actually there.
No.
I think that's very obvious. But I don't really know why that shot is there. I don't know what the butterfly is supposed to mean.
Is it maybe supposed to, I think, ask if she has faith or not, in a way?
Potentially, because at the end she admits that prayer doesn't work. At the
Yeah.
end, she admits that she has her disbeliefs about this religion. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, she does go through this change where at the end she's like, prayer doesn't do anything. And so maybe that's what that's supposed to mean.
Possibly. Not too sure, but that's probably what I would go for, honestly. I think it'd be that. That's like the best. I think that's the best explanation I have for now until a rewatch. But yeah, I mean, regardless, it's got us talking, and I think that's a good thing. Especially a lot of movies don't really do that now. So I'm glad, honestly. It. What would you give this movie?
I would give this movie a I'm gonna give it a 7.75. As a movie,
Okay.
I think I would give it a 7 out of 10. However, like I said, with the discussion of religion and everything, and that's something I do like. Personally, it is something that I do find myself debating with people and whatnot, and it just for a personal reason, it brings that up a little bit more for me, but not enough for it to be an 8. I don't know if I would rewatch this.
Okay.
Maybe I would. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with it, but 7.75.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna do 7. I think it is a great, great movie, but it just didn't fully grab my interest. And like I said, that's why I want to rewatch it, because like I don't know. It could be people in the theater, because I get distracted easily if people are talking. I'm trying to watch something, so maybe I really do have to like engage fully, no distraction. But I feel like my thoughts, it's like The Watcher, where I had issues in that theater, where um I'm not gonna have much of a different opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna generally be the same. I think it's a good movie. It is definitely worth the watch. You may love it, you may not. I don't think you can really go around saying it's a bad movie though. So 7 out of 10. I want to see more from Scott Beck and Brian Woods. They've always made an entertaining movie no matter what. What was that? Okay, I want to know what that dinosaur movie was. It was
I think it was 47.
65.
65.
Yeah.
Not
I said 40.
close.
Not at all. Yeah, no, they did it. They killed it with A Quiet Place 1. They killed it with Haunt, which if you have not seen the movie Haunt, Jerry, you would love it. It's about people going into one of those like extreme haunted houses.
I think you were telling me about that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix, right?
I don't know. Let me check right now.
It's on something.
It is on something. I know. IMDb usually it's on Prime. It's on Prime right now. Give it a shot. I think you would really enjoy it. It's about a haunted house that turns an extreme haunted house that is way more extreme than they were anticipating. Check that out for sure.
Did they base it off of what was that guy? There's a dude who would have people sign waivers to go through his haunted house. I think they shut it down. And it was like the stuff was like too extreme to the point where people were like, this is just blatant torture. Like, do you know if it's based on anything or if it's
I don't think it is.
No?
This
Okay.
is it, because this turns more into that movie turns more into a slasher as it goes on. So it's not like that, but I think, and it came out in like 2019, and I think that happened a little later. I'm not too sure.
I think the guy's been doing it for like years, but
Like when that news story came up and stuff, like.
I don't know.
But yeah, either way, check it out. As far as I know, it's not based on anything. It's just inspired by a bunch of those different ones. But yeah, Haunts 65. I haven't seen that one, but I know a lot of people say it's entertaining as fuck. For them, good for you. It looked goofy. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what else they're gonna work on. Oh, also, Jerry, I'm expecting the next review to be The Substance, because it is on Mubi right now, and you can do a 7-day free trial to watch movies on there. You should definitely do it.
Free trials scare me
Yeah.
because then I forget about them.
Just cancel it immediately. What the hell? You still get 7 days. By the way, I gotta fucking cancel my subscription. I don't want to pay $15 a month for it. But that's going to do it for this episode. Tune in next time where we probably talk about The Substance or anything else. Yell at Jerry in the comments to do it, because you all know that it is one of the best movies this year. So hit that like button, subscribe to us, comment that Jerry needs to watch The Substance, and also comment what you think of this movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you also have annoying people in your theater not shutting the fuck up? We would love to hear those stories, honestly. Put that down there. Or DM us. DM us your stories. DM us your thoughts on the video. DM Jerry directly about The Substance again. And this has been another episode. Once again, I am Brandon.
I am Jerry.
You should not
Stay
go
spooky.
looking for trouble.